I'm Betina Bethlem, for those of you who are new to me, from Born Witchy, and I'm excited to do our monthly tarot pull with you here today. Quick little just sort of energetic check-in. I remember last time we met, there was a lot going on in terms of eclipses and retrogrades and all the things, and we are still in a pretty significant retrograde in the sense that it's Mercury retrograde, but I always like to remind people, I mean, Mercury retrograde gets such a bad rep, but hey, it's like a cosmic moment for us to sort of slow down and review in a culture that rewards so much productivity and forward movement and speed. I actually sort of enjoy Mercury retrograde as a moment to kind of take stock and move a little bit like at a pace that is more gentle. But the big thing that's happened since we last met is that the planet of Jupiter has gone direct again. It's been in reverse since November in the sign of Cancer, and Jupiter is kind of what brings us good luck and abundance. And so having it retrograde can feel a little bit like energetically sticky. And it's moving forward again now for the next, I think until August, if I remember correctly, but like for the next sort of while. And it's really happy in this placement of Cancer. It's a great place for Jupiter. So we should be feeling a bit more sort of forward movement now in our projects and things like that. So I wouldn't say energy is light, but it has lightened up a bit since we last talked. And I just like to share these things with you in the beginning, just as a reflection, as you think about what you might want to ask the cards. One of them just flew out of the deck. Let's see who it is. The King of Cups, the card of emotional intelligence, just flew out. So we can take that, and we'll talk more about that once we pull more cards. Seems like he wants to be seen right now. Okay. So for those of you who may be new to me, the way this is going to go is that we're going to do a very brief little meditation just to drop into this present moment so that we can connect with ourselves, with our higher self, with our higher power, you know, however you, with spirit, however you sort of think about, you know, that thing that we commune with when we're doing our spiritual practice, and tap into kind of the question of the moment. And then I'm going to pull a few cards. Usually I do 3, sometimes I do 4. We'll see kind of like what comes up today. I'll have you pick ahead of time which card is going to hold the main message for you. And then I'll interpret each of them. And I always like to say this too, like, don't put any like stress or sort of like pressure over which number you pick. Like, just choose the one that comes naturally, and know that even though that card kind of has the main message for you today, all of the cards that come up are here energetically for us as a group to learn from and understand. So there's something for you in every card that comes up. I see people in the chat. Hi, Luke. Hi, Elena. Okay, so before we dive into this, let's just take a moment to meditate together. Just, you know, plant your feet on the floor if you're sitting on a chair, or sit cross-legged if that's more cozy to you, and just close your eyes and start to flow your breath. Take a few big, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Hi, Sarah. Love seeing you all in the chat. And first, breathe into your lower body, connecting with the surface beneath you, using that sense of touch and connection to ground you a bit into the present moment, connecting you to the earth element, to the pentacles and tarot. And then take another deep breath now into your heart space. You can even place a hand on your heart if that helps you connect with that part of your body. Breathing here for a few rounds of breath, just noticing what the emotional tone is today, how you're feeling. Just allowing whatever is here today, connecting to the water element, to the cups. That's your emotions and our feelings. And then raise your awareness up to that space between your eyebrows, the third eye. using the breath to kind of pierce through those mumbling thoughts and to-do lists and thoughts about the future, thoughts about what you're doing later, just kind of dropping those for right now and calling your attention in to your breath and to this present moment with the cards. That is your air element, your mind, the swords. And then last but not least, bring your awareness to the atmosphere around you, the space beyond your skin. Some of us might call it the aura, the part of us that connects to the universe around us. Almost kind of sensing as if there's kind of like a sensation in the atmosphere around you, connecting with your spirit body. This is your fire element, the suit of wands. And now you can drop that visualization and just take a moment to ask yourself, like, what's top of mind? What's top of heart today? Where could you use a little bit of extra guidance? Do you have a specific question today about something that's moving through your life, perhaps in the realm of work or of friendship or love or health? Could be anything. Or are you wanting to tap into a broader question right now, just about like what this moment holds for you, what your focus should be, how you can bring more self-love into your life? What do I need to release? I've also lately really been enjoying working with the question, what do I want? And using the cards to gain a bit of clarity and a reflection of what my higher self might want. So come up with your question. And now ask yourself whether card number 1, 2, 3, or 4, we're going to do 4 today, holds the answer that you seek. And then you can start to come back and I will take you through these 4 cards. We had our King of Cups fly out before, so that's our Mr. Emotional Intelligence reminder that wanted to come up for all of us. I feel like that's already setting a tone of just like, yeah, let's be really mature about our feelings. And that includes like not sweeping them under the rug. Like that includes actually acknowledging ourselves as emotional feeling beings who have a whole spectrum of emotions in every given day. And I always love to refer people to that poem by Rumi called, I think it's called The Guest House. I'll write it in the chat in case anyone wants to look it up. It's called The Guest House. It's the one about all the like emotions visiting your house and how you, whether they're a good emotion or a bad emotion, to welcome them all as a friend and host them. And I feel like that King of Cups is really this reminder that like all of our emotions are information, and like if we can sort of detach from them, like in the sense of like let's detach them from our identity, like let's just see them more as like a weather pattern, then we can see them as kind of like messengers of information. You know, of course we only want to feel like the delicious happy emotions, but like sometimes the anxiety or the fear like actually has a really important message that like something is out of alignment. So like I think the King of Cups is a reminder that like all of the feelings are actually our friends and messengers for us. But now into your readings. I'll show you the cards. If you picked card number 1, you got the King of Cups counterpart, which is the Queen of Cups. I've been pulling her a lot lately, actually. If you got card number 2, you have the reversed 3 of Wands. So a little fire energy there. If you got card number 3, you have the reversed 6 of Swords. There it is. And if you picked card number 4, I feel like this one might have come up last time as well. I forget, but the Devil. Always kind of a fun and interesting energy to talk about. And this is our only major arcana today. So that one kind of does pack a punch. Let's start with our Queen of Cups. If you picked card number 1, and feel free to let me know in the chat if you want to share which one you got. No pressure, of course. But yeah, Queen of Cups. She's the yin to the King of Cups yang. Sorry, I'm still feeling like the camera feels sort of, it's hard to get these centered for you all. Okay, she's sort of the yin to the King of Cups yang. Like this, we talked a lot about emotional intelligence with this one. The Queen of Cups is also about emotional intelligence, but it takes on almost kind of like a more high priestess tone to it. Like there's something more sort of intuitive and ethereal about the Queen of Cups. And I always think about the sign of Cancer with the Queen of Cups, which has to do with the archetypal mother. It has to do with home. It has this kind of like cozy inward energy. Like if you think of Cancer and like the crab and like the hermit crab in its shell, there's sort of this like cozy containment to the Queen of Cups. So always when this card comes up, like I feel like the emotional intelligence of this card is almost more about kind of like emotional nourishment and self-care and like doing things that help you almost kind of like embodying the mother archetype towards yourself and your feelings. And like really, like we can be so hard on ourselves sometimes, like oh I'm being anxious again, or I'm being fearful again, and we kind of like tell ourselves like no, like don't be that. The Queen of Cups is kind of like, well, actually, what would you do if like your little niece or your child was having that feeling, and then actually turning that feeling towards yourself and like that gentleness. The Queen of Cups is the gentlest of the queens. And this always with the court cards, I think that they refer to an aspect of yourself, an aspect of the person. So this is the aspect of you that is mothering. Whether you're a man or a woman or however you identify, we all have this ability to be really nurturing that the Queen of Cups represents. Someone is asking me, what is a major arcana? That is a great question. We have the Devil card here. So tarot decks have 2 types of cards, major arcana and minor arcana. Big secrets or big mysteries, and small secrets or small mysteries. The major arcana deal with sort of like bigger archetypal things that are kind of more high level, like sort of storytelling tropes. Like I like to give the example of like, if you take Star Wars, there's like Yoda, and he's kind of like the archetype of the teacher and wisdom. Like that's kind of like a major arcana. Where Queen of Cups is kind of like a piece of your personality. Like with the minor arcana, it's more these like everyday things, like everyday little scenarios, everyday people that you run into. While the major arcana kind of sits at a higher level. For example, I'm going through a chapter of my life that feels like major arcana, and the minor arcana tells me about the little everyday things that I can do to work towards that archetype. Could do a whole session on that. Maybe next time we'll do that. So number 1, you're in that sort of like nurturing self-care intuitive space. If you picked card number 2, you have the reversed 3 of Wands over here. The 3 of Wands is the card of like the building creative momentum. So with it reversed, it's not moving so quickly. Like I think if this card might be coming up for you because it's asking for you to actually take a bit more concerted action, aligned action towards something. Because the 3 of Wands, when it's right side up, like you see in the image of a card, it's this artist in front of her canvas and she's working on it. She's showing up every day for her practice, for her art, and she's just kind of chipping away at it. And that's what 3 of Wands is about. It's about kind of chipping away at a goal, we could say, through aligned action day to day, and knowing that like the big project we envision, like the big outcome we envision, like the big thing we're dreaming of manifesting, like gets built by the small everyday actions. So I think the reversal for you here is asking like, where can I maybe bring in a bit more sort of creative discipline, or what action do I need to sort of bring into my daily life or my weekly life that's going to help me get to where I'm trying to go. So that's card number 2. If you picked 2. Oh, I love Cancer's your rising, Elena. That's such a sweet rising sign. I love it. And Star Wars mentioned, yes. Love the great reference. You can really you can like learn the whole tarot and how to do it by watching Star Wars or like a movie like Lord of the Rings. Like you can think of tarot really as like a book of human archetypes. And so a lot of like the storytelling that we see in film and in books that like really resonates with a lot of people is just tarot. And like, just like a tarot reading brings the cards up in different orders, like these different movies kind of like bring up the different characters at different points and all of that. But at the end of the day, you kind of like get the full picture of like, here are the archetypes of human life. So yeah, if you want to learn tarot, go watch Star Wars. If you picked card number 3, then you got the reversed Six of Swords. This is an interesting card because the Six of Swords is a card of being on your path. It's a reminder that, like, no matter where you are in your story, in your journey, it is yours. And it's sometimes this card can feel a little bit like, where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Like, sometimes with the Six of Swords, you're like on the journey and you're kind of like, I feel a little bit foggy, like I know where I want to go, but like I'm halfway gone from the thing I left, but I don't know how far I am from the thing I'm going to. And so sometimes with the Six of Swords, you're kind of like, you start to doubt your path a little bit. Like sometimes this card brings a little bit of kind of like, am I on the right path? Like, why do things seem hard? Like, what do I need to do differently? And I think like with the reversal, I think in a way that actually gets softened. And it's this idea that like, yes, you're on your path. No, the path isn't always easy. But I think what the Six of Swords in reverse kind of invites is to remember that, like, even the hard things that are going on or that have happened to you or whatever, it kind of is like that guest house roomie thing we were saying before with the King of Cups. Like, it's part of it, you know? I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Like, it's this idea that, like, okay, even that, let's say, like, I'll just make up a random example. Like, let's say you had a really tough boss or something at some point like in your career, and at the time when you were living that, you were in that right side up Six of Swords of like, oh my god, like where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Like this boss is like driving me crazy, like I'm so unhappy in my job, blah, blah, blah. This is kind of like, okay, 5 years later, you're in your next role and you're actually feeling some gratitude for that difficult narcissistic boss because you're like, oh my god, I learned from that experience something that's like really making my today path be easier, and I actually learned something from that. So the Six of Swords is kind of about the card of integration. I say if I were to like bring it down to one word, it's this idea of integrating like our whole experience and actually having gratitude for all of it and being like, wow, actually like that hard stuff put me on the right track, and like now I get to use the skills that that hard thing taught me to move forward. So if you got card number 3, I feel like it's a nice reminder to actually just like trust where you are and maybe even reflect on like, if there are some challenging things going on right now, or you do have some confusion, like what has sort of honed you from your difficult experiences to actually like make you stronger? Kind of makes me think of that, like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger kind of thing. And like, how can you use those things right now to move forward the next step on your path? So that's the Six of Swords. And then last but not least, our Devil. I'm curious if anyone got this card today. I wish I could remember if we actually did pull this one last time, but someone did, yay. I just got back from a retreat in Costa Rica. It was a yoga retreat, but I was there doing the tarot part of things. And I did tarot readings for so many people there. And it's like retreat, everyone's in this like Zen kind of energy. And I pulled this card for this one woman, and she got so like scared of it in the moment because we have so many judgments about the word devil. And so I was just talking about this, how like, you know, we have these judgments about these different words. Like there's a few cards in the tarot deck that scare people because they're called the devil or they're called death, or like they have an image on them that like kind of just looks really nightmarish and scary and all of that. Part of what I love about tarot as like a text and as a game and as just like a modality is that it's very honest. Like it's not trying to gloss over, it's not trying to spiritually bypass life. Like it is acknowledging that like in our human life, like we come across all different kinds of energies, and some of them feel like higher vibration energies and some of them feel a little bit lower. And most of the cards, even the challenging ones, like kind of like what I was saying about that reverse Six of Swords, like address this idea of like, actually there is no good and bad. It's just all here for you to experience. My teacher at the yoga retreat, Chrissy, said that the other day, and I was like, I love that wording of it. Like that's a very good way of describing like how can we like sort of remove our attachment and our judgment from things to actually just like reap the benefits of any experience that's coming across our desk in any given moment. And so the Devil is one of these cards that is a little bit like two sides of the coin, you know, because like in its darker expression, it can touch on things like, okay, where in your life are you giving into temptations that like, or like addictions or kind of like habits that you know aren't really serving you? Like, where are you kind of maybe letting the culture or someone else's opinion or like some sort of keeping up with the Joneses kind of vibe, like influence your authenticity? Like the devil ultimately is this idea of authenticity. And so in its darker expression, it's when you're kind of being like pulled away from it. And like your lower habits are taking you away from yourself. So sometimes the devil is an invitation to kind of return to yourself. And then the thing is, the devil also has a light expression. Like the devil is an energy that we need to like create disruption and create change and all of that. The devil also has the courage to kind of be disliked, to be talked about, you know? Like the devil is kind of this understanding of like, you know what? Actually, a lot of people are sheeple and me pleasing them would be the temptation, you know? And actually, the really aligned, authentic thing is for me to go against the grain, and maybe they're going to throw tomatoes at my head, but I know I'm in integrity and I'm going to stand for this thing. It makes me think of that whole Brene Brown thing, the daring greatly thing she talks about, where it's like once you enter the arena, like people are going to throw tomatoes at your head. It doesn't mean you're off your path that we talked about with the last card. So the devil is kind of a cool one. Like I always tell people, like almost anyone who is like a celebrated artist in our culture is in touch with the devil energy, because they have to have the courage to be like, I'm going to create a piece of art in a way that's different than it's been done before. I'm going to take the risk of being ahead of my time with my thinking and all of that. And yeah, like I'm probably going to have some people saying some mean things on the internet about me, or maybe there's going to be awful press pieces about me, or maybe I'm going to lose some people. But the devil is kind of about like, if you can do it in integrity, it's about really authenticity and not having fear of like the judgment, you know? So if you pulled the devil card, ask yourself both things. Like ask yourself, like just ask yourself, like, how can I be in more integrity and more real with my life? Whether that means eliminating some stuff, some habits that are actually holding you back in some way, you know? For me, it's that like I'm a night owl, and if it were up to me, I would like stay up till 3 a.m. pottering around my house every day, but then I wouldn't be a person the next day. So I have to resist the temptation and actually like put myself to bed, for example. Like being up late, that's my little devil habit thing. You know, some of the obvious ones, obviously, like, yeah, people, maybe you're shopping too much. Like maybe you need to drink less drinks or something during the week. Like maybe it's about less sugar. Sometimes it's really basic stuff like that. Sometimes it's about kind of actually looking at the relationships in your life. Like since we did have that King of Cups here guiding all of us, like maybe there is a little bit of kind of like, are there any like relationships I'm entertaining that are actually draining my life force energy, and I need to be more disciplined about how much of my time I give to that person. So that's one thing I'd say think about, is like just check where you have sort of temptation in your life, or little addiction in your life. And on the other side, I think ask yourself, if you got this card, like where can kind of like I own my authenticity a bit more and be a bit more bold and risky about expressing it? And like where can I sort of like give less F's, so to speak, and like just do the thing anyways, you know, and sort of embody that sort of artist devil thing of like really sticking up for what you believe in. So it's a cool card. Since it's our one major arcana, I would say that it's kind of a little bit here for all of us, even if we didn't pick card number 4, because it is the sort of biggest energy on the table. But yeah, let's see, putting it all together. And feel free to put any questions if you want in the chat. I just want to see if there's anything else I want to say about putting them all together. I mean, the fact that like it's the 2 cups cards, the 2 feelings, relationships cards that are coming up kind of right side up, along with that devil, makes me feel like bigger thematic thing right now. Like we really should be prioritizing like our emotional well-being right now, making that a top priority, really understanding what that means for us as an individual. The wands energy, the swords energy, the fire in the air, which is like the action and the thinking, these are sort of the more masculine, like yang cards, shall we say, are a bit de-emphasized in that they're upside down. But yeah, but they're still here. I feel like it's kind of, I feel like the cards want us to like get really honest and authentic with ourselves and really put our emotional well-being first, while also taking a lot of sort of aligned action on our path. Like I think right now is a moment where it's like very important for people to understand what their values are, to be in their integrity, and to like chip away at whatever like your small contribution is to like making the world a better place. You know, we are all a part of that. It's easy to feel powerless when there's so much crazy stuff happening in the bigger picture. But I think this reading is a nice reminder that like even our small actions each day, even if our small action is just becoming a little bit more emotionally healthy and a little kinder to ourselves and a little bit more brave with that devil energy and putting some action around it, like that, though your small contribution makes a contribution, you know? So I think that's kind of the broader, all the cards together message for us today. And I love that, you know, like it's intense. It's like hard out there right now, but I think it's important for us to keep our energy up. I've been talking about this a bit in my social media lately. Like we got to do what we can to keep our energy up, to keep our vibration good, because there's like a lot trying to tear it down right now. There's a lot that can put us into our anxiety. And I feel like these King of Cups are here to say, hey, like, we got this. Let's support each other. Let's keep our emotions in check. Let's not let the attempt to pull us into fear that's happening in the world around us like derail us, you know? So daily practice around well-being, I think, is like really, really important right now. Fortify your spirit. I love that. Yeah. It's like almost like it's like the little act of like defiance or protest that you can do at any moment. I saw something really funny on TikTok the other day where this woman was saying, like, you know, the Dark Lords are going to try to take away your whimsy. I feel like whimsy is trending a lot right now. She was saying the Dark Lords are going to try to take away your whimsy. Like, it's not to say that like the dark things aren't happening. Like, it's not for us to sweep it under the rug, but be defiant about like protecting your whimsy and making sure you almost have like a whimsy practice, I feel like is what she was saying. And I think that's really true. We have to find our joy in the midst of all the madness. Okay. That's what I've got for you today. If you want to stay in touch or have any questions, I'm on Instagram and now TikTok as Born Witchy. You can message me. I will reply. And I'll be back here in about a month. And the Lori Project is also going to send you a survey at the end. We're like testing out this new platform of YouTube Live. We want to know how you're enjoying the different healers and things like that. If you want to like be doing specific things tarot-wise with me, I'm always open to like requests. And thank you so much. You guys are all the best. Thank you. Okay, bye.